So Islam is in perfect compatibility with the way we are created. There's total match, but we just need to find this match. Okay. Why faith-based intelligence? Now, as I said, I'm using this word. It's just my personal, attempt to make things a bit clearer, because these words have been used recently. Obviously, as I said, there's emotional intelligence, spiritual intelligence. These have become trend, and people find it easy to relate to these ideas. So I just put it in words that are a bit catchy, and probably people could relate to them. So using contemporary language. That's the statement of Ibn al-Qayyim that I said. لَا بُدَّ مِنْ مُخَاطَبَةِ أَهْلِ كُلِّ زَمَانٍ بِالْإِصْطِلَاحِ الَّذِي يَعْرِفُونَ. You have to speak to the people. Use the language they can relate to. The language they can relate to. The language they can relate to, yes. The last point? Yes, I just touched on that. Inshallah, we'll come to it. We will come to it. This is some sort of introduction. So using contemporary language. Contemporary language. Many times, like when we tell our children to pray, we just tell them pray. And he says to you, why do I have to pray? You just pray. Now you're not speaking their language. Most likely, once they can sneak out of your authority, they won't pray. They might pray in front of you. That's language, by the way. When I say language, I'm talking about the broader sense. Many people tell their children, for example, don't lie. Don't lie. But when the children tell the truth, they hit him. They hit the child or smack him. That's the wrong language to use with your child. Okay? So this is what I mean, the wider sense of language. Okay, enormous and growing challenges. Because the challenge the Ummah is facing today is really enormous. And unless we come up with something original and something practical, we will not be able to solve this dilemma. We will not be able to deal with it. But alhamdulillah, I believe we have the potential. Allah has put that potential in the Quran, in the Sunnah, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the faculties and the abilities and the potential, inshallah, to deal with that. So the challenges that we face are personal. Many people face personal problems. We have psychological problems. Some of them relate to the state of the Ummah, whether directly or indirectly, because like in the Muslim world, when most people suffer from different problems, financial problems, social problems, this leaves a strong impact on the Muslim world. I was in one Muslim country, and I won't mention it, another country, and in that country there's one area where people look exactly like people in my country. And historically speaking, they come from the same origin. I was happy to go into that country. And unfortunately, the political system is very oppressive in that country. As soon as we drove into that area, I started seeing people looking like me. And I felt at home, because I was away from home for some time. I really felt at home. I was very happy. Then I saw something that disturbed me. I lost that homely feeling. Because I could see their eyes were full with humiliation. Like people generally in my country, they just, they walk straight and they look straight. In that country, I really saw them once, like you see someone give them salam, they say, wa alaikum salam. They just, literally, just like this. People in the street, they look at you like this, and they just keep walking. There's a problem. It leaves an impact on the kids, on the children. And this is why you find some people from different countries, when they come to this country, or to other countries, even if you are good with them, you're treating them well, they have to lie. They can't tell the truth. Because all their lives they've been subjected to fear that they had to lie. And now they can't change that. So they lie. Many people can only hide feelings and always be cautious as they deal with you. Why? That's an impact. So human life is, all aspects of human life are related. Don't think that the economic system, the political situation of the Muslims doesn't impact your children's upbringing. It does. It does leave an impact. And this is why, unfortunately, and this is something very common, and I keep repeating these because these are my observations. I don't have enough observations in the West, but in the Muslim countries, unfortunately, we have to deal with these things. When it comes to employment in our countries, you apply to a job and someone who has blonde hair and blue eyes applies to the same job, obviously you stand no chances. And if you get a space or a position the same as someone else who has a different complexion, they get double the salary you get for no reason, even if your qualifications are better. Even at the airport, they ask you to take off almost everything. And when someone like that comes with a different complexion, تفضل sir, go ahead, no problem. No, you on the side. That happens. Where does it originate from? Jazakallah khair. That's a serious problem. So that's inferiority complex. Inferiority complex. There was one brother in the UK, and I don't like to dwell on these issues, but sometimes it does help us understand. Now this brother asked me, I've never seen him, so he just got my number from someone, and he said, I want you to help me get married. I said, of course, I will help you, inshallah. He said, but I have some difficult conditions. I said, what are your conditions? He said, I want someone who's blonde and blue-eyed. I said, I don't know if I can help you. I'll see if anything comes up, I'll let you know, inshallah. And subhanAllah, a few months later, one revert sister wanted to, she was looking for a husband, and I just called the brother, and next day I found them outside the masjid. They were ready to get married. And they walked into the office, and we were making the nikah. She brought her wali. And as soon as the brother sat down, he started crying. He broke down. I asked him what was going on. He said, I just can't believe that happened. I really felt pity for the brother. Why do you have to feel that way? Why do you have to feel that way? And I figured out that this marriage is not going to work out. With that kind of inferiority complex, it doesn't work out. And subhanAllah, 3 weeks later, the marriage was a disaster. The marriage was a disaster. So there's no need to judge yourself by your complexion, by your color, by the color of your eyes, by how you look like. These have no weight in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and these are deep psychological problems that we have to deal with. We will, inshallah, talk about how Islam gets us out of this dilemma. Islam does teach us to put all of these aside and actually overstep them and understand, build strong self-esteem, which is based on faith, that no one can shake for you. I talked about this in brief on Saturday. Inshallah, in these coming days, we will hit right at the heart of these matters, inshallah. Okay, so we have personal problems, we have religious problems, people having different approaches to Islam. And many of them, as I said, are psychological, many of them are social, many of them are financial. We have financial problems, social problems, political problems. These are the problems that we face today. This is something, obviously, that we need a formula to be... And don't say the formula doesn't exist. It exists. It's Islam. But we have a problem in approaching our Islam right. Because the same Islam we have today is the Islam that transformed the companions. It's the same Islam. So there's no problem with Islam. Islam is there. But the problem is with us. So we need to develop that skill to be able to relate to Islam, capture the essence of Islam, and be able to transform our lives through it. Okay, another challenge is obviously a rapidly changing world, need for adaptability. Now, what possibly worked for Muslims in a certain area 700 years ago doesn't necessarily work out today. What worked for Muslims 200 years ago does not necessarily work out today. So we have to be aware of this. And in Islam, the whole structure of faith is so beautiful that it allows a huge level of flexibility that gives the Muslims so much power and strength and resilience. Flexibility cannot be achieved without having solid faith. People confuse flexibility with lack of principles. With flexibility, you don't change your principles. Actually, if you don't have firm principles, firm beliefs, you cannot be flexible. You'll be a feather in the wind. That's what you would be. You would be a person with no values, no principles. You would compromise your principles. Flexibility is a different level. Okay, and there's a need, and so in any kind of approach, in order to handle our situation, these are the things that we need to be available in it. We need realization that rational intelligence, mere good intention are not enough. And this is, although we'll come across this inshallah later, but I will mention it now. Abdullah bin Mas'ud, after obviously the death of the Prophet ﷺ, was in Kufa. He was the scholar of Al-Kufa. Abu Musa al-Ash'ari, another companion, was the student of Abdullah bin Mas'ud. One day they prayed Fajr in the masjid. Abdullah bin Mas'ud went back home, and usually he comes after sunrise, he comes to the masjid to teach. Abu Musa al-Ash'ari remained in the masjid. He saw people making circles, and with each circle there's one of them saying, say La ilaha illallah 100 times, say Subhanallah 100 times. They had pebbles counting this dhikr. Abu Musa al-Ash'ari was shocked. So he decided to go to Abdullah bin Mas'ud. He went to the house, he found the students waiting outside. Because that's the daily routine. They would take Abdullah bin Mas'ud, walk with him to benefit until he gets to the masjid and gives the halaqah. He sat down with them. Abdullah bin Mas'ud came out. Abu Musa al-Ash'ari told him, I saw in the masjid something that I don't recognize. I have some aversion to. I have some hatred to. I feel it's not right. But I saw something which is generally good. He said, I saw people, he described them, circles, and they're making tasbih and tahleel and tahmeed, and they're counting. He said, why didn't you tell them to count their evil deeds, the sayyi'at? And I guarantee that Allah will not waste their good deeds. Then he went to them. In one narration, he actually masked his face and he went to them. When he saw them, he said, Wayhakum, woe to you, Ya Ummata Muhammad. He reprimanded them. He says, this is bid'ah, this is innovation. Then ultimately, they said to him, Ya Aba Abdul Rahman, ma aradna illa al-khayr. We only wanted good. Why do you speak to us so harshly? Our intention is good. What did he say? He said, وَكَمْ مِن مُرِيدٍ لِلْخَيْرِ لَنْ يُصِيبَهُ. He said, it's often that people with good intention will never get good, will never reach what they really intend for. So good intention is not enough. Good intention is not enough by itself. Good intention is not enough. So you could be good-hearted, and still you would not achieve success. You would not achieve what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from you. Hatib ibn Abi Balta'a, the companion who sent to the people of Mecca that the Prophet ﷺ was going to march to Mecca, which was an act of treason to the Muslim state of the Prophet ﷺ. His intention was good, but that doesn't mean that what he did was right. It could have had a damaging impact on the whole thing. It could have led to so much bloodshed. So good intention is not enough. Many people do sins, and they tell you, Wallahi, my heart is good, my heart is white. I'm doing that with good intention. Good intention is not enough. You could be good-hearted, but you have to understand the rules of the game. You have to understand the rules of the game. So, and even intelligence itself, some people are very smart, but they end up in prison, isn't it? Just as we said, you could be very good, very efficient at cutting trees, but what difference does it make if you are in the wrong forest? So we have to be careful about this. So intelligence, enough. If you are clever, smart, and you have good intention, that's not enough. There is much more into Islam. Many people think Islam is just like that. Have good intention, pray, do whatever you want to do, and that's it, you're done. You have achieved everything. No. Islam is a much more dynamic, is a deeper kind of way of life. Islam is so full that it has to offer everyone what they need and more than what they need. So you can actually reach your full potential with Islam. It provides for everyone what they really need, and it helps them reach their full potential. Inshallah, we will come to see about this. Okay, qualities attained through awareness of heart-faith relationship yields powerful personal strength and qualities such as, okay, so basically this is what we want, what we need.